Hello, it's me, Recky. Welcome back for another. I have no idea. Sport, maybe sport. So there's a thing called NASCAR in America. Of course, I've seen a few videos on it, but I am not entirely sure the rules, how many laps. They're bound to be rules. I know nothing about NASCAR. I remember seeing a interview with the guy called Earnhardt. Maybe it's Earnhardt. I can't really remember but it doesn't really matter because this video is gonna explain. It's called A Beginner's Guide to NASCAR, and the channel is F1 Fan 0001. And I've learned the hard way just to pick random, beginner's guides and stuff like that. So I decided to check the comments out, and there's one guy actually claiming this guy is a British, according to the comment, that is gonna tell us about NASCAR. But there's someone actually saying here that he is an American native and a longtime NASCAR fan. And he actually says that is a great video and he nailed it. So I think we're pretty good on the content, I think. We're going to watch this one. It's 12 minutes long and a Swede learns about NASCAR. And I have no idea. I've seen it, I've heard about it, but I don't know anything about it. So I'm going to learn something today. If you do enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the like and, of course, hit that subscribe. That's something I would greatly appreciate. And if you want to check it out by yourself, you find the link for the channel, which is F1 Fan 001. You find both the link for it's in the description. So let's just stop talking, Recky, because evidently it's not going that good. Here we go. There you go. Swooping it in here. Boom. Oh wow, that's that quality. 720. Oh my god. They have cameras.
It's fast, it's loud, and it's about as American as it gets. I'm talking, of course, about NASCAR. To many people over here in Europe, NASCAR seems somewhat impenetrable as a series. I mean, stages? Playoffs? Competition cautions? But with the NASCAR Cup Series off-season in full swing, I thought it would be a great idea to try and introduce it to some of you folk who may not be so familiar with the series.
And we do appreciate that. I have no idea. It's fast and it's loud. So far, we'll learn something.
This is the beginner's guide to NASCAR.
Ooh, nice intro. Did it say episode 1?
The NASCAR Cup Series held its first race on June the 19th, 1949 in Charlotte, North Carolina, which makes it officially older than Formula One. Since then, a lot has changed in the sport, going from nearly showroom fresh street cars that still had the bench seats and the AM radios installed, all the way to today's high-tech space frame chassis monsters. Modern cars feature a 358 cubic inch naturally aspirated V8 engine, which transmits power to the rear wheels through a 4-speed H-pattern gearbox. Up front,
so V8
double wishbone suspension is featured with a live rear axle at the rear. Driving aids such as traction control and anti-lock brakes are prohibited. The space frame chassis is covered in a 24 gauge sheet metal body that has to conform to strict templates for each manufacturer and is customized for each type of track visited. The NASCAR Cup Series visits 4 main types of track, each one with entirely different requirements in terms of setups and racing style. The most common is the Speedway. These are between 1 and 2 miles in length and can vary in shape, than the D shape of Charlotte in Kentucky to the more paperclip shape of Homestead, Miami. These are seen as the standard track in NASCAR and boomed from the late 1990s to today. Despite being the most modern tracks, fans often lament the fact that the tracks are somewhat samey and offer less interesting racing than the other circuits. Wait, cookie cutter?
So there's actually different types of the tracks. I thought it was just round. Like super round, not even oval, just round.
Tracks that produce mediocre racing, replacing classic venues we all know and love. See, F1 fans? We aren't alone after all. Next up are the short tracks. These ovals of less than 1 mile in length include Martinsville Speedway and Richmond Raceway in Virginia, as well as Bristol Speedway in Tennessee. NASCAR short track racing offers close contact racing and a very high level of intensity from start to finish, which often leads to drama both on the track.
The 2017 champion, will he get the bumper? Yes, he does. Here comes Logano.
Are you allowed to do that? Oh,
sideways, and it's going to be
wow! I got goosebumps. So they're actually allowed to touch each other.
And
I know how that sounds. Knock it off.
Off the track.
Oh snap!
Stop!
Up third are the road courses, because yes, NASCAR does feature right turns, and yes, it does race in the rain on these tracks, although not on...
Oh yeah, so there is right turns. Okay. I like how he said that.
Yeah.
And I actually instantly understood what he meant when there is actually right turns.
Because, well,
Cook and maybe Joe Nemechek out saying if he came out or not. But these are guys that are trying to make the race. Oh, we got trouble.
I think it's raining. It's raining over there.
Yes,
it is raining on
Cars
the back straightaway.
Over the racetrack.
What happened here?
What's going on?
Bliss, one of those that broke free. You see the 97 of Joe Nemechek and
it's raining. So do they have the wrong tires?
The 91 car. To Benny Gordon at 91 machine.
The series mixes up both oval-derived road courses like the ones at Daytona and Charlotte, as well as the likes of Watkins Glen, Sonoma Raceway, and, as of 2021, the Circuit of the Americas. Finally, there are the super speedways.
Oh,
the super
wow.
speedways of Daytona and Talladega are probably what you would think of first when someone mentions NASCAR to you. The circuits are high speed and are all about staying in the draft from the car in front.
I recognize Talladega.
The result is incredible pack racing, with huge lines of cars going 2, 3, and sometimes even 4 wide for lap after lap, and then occasionally causing a massive pile-up. On a side note, you may notice something different about the cars when they compete on the short tracks. On ovals over 1.3 miles in length, the cars will run at 550 brake horsepower and have a large rear spoiler. At 8 inches tall, it is so high that at the top a transparent section has to be included so that the drivers can see something other than their own car in their rearview mirror. This large spoiler creates lots of drag and aids drafting and overtaking at the bigger tracks. In contrast, at the short tracks, the rear spoiler is reduced to 2 3/4 inches in height, and power is increased to 750 brake horsepower to ensure that dirty air doesn't become an obstacle to good racing at the tracks without the large straights to allow for drafting. Right then, with that out of the way, it's finally time to throw the green flag and start the race. If you're coming straight from watching Formula One, it's worth remembering that the excitement in the race tends to be the reverse of Formula One's. The most exciting laps tend to be right towards the finish, so just settle in and enjoy for now.
The chaos is in this last.
Okay, so we're a short way into the race. The order has settled for the time being, and what's this? A caution? Is there rain on our speedway? No. Is there debris around? No. Has a car crashed somewhere? Nope. This is a competition caution. The competition caution has been seen a lot through 2020 thanks to the scrapping of qualifying and practice sessions. But in a normal race, it is only really thrown if there's been a change in the track conditions since qualifying, usually brought about by overnight rain. It allows the teams to come in and adjust the setups of their cars to suit the new conditions and to change tyres.
Oh.
Ordinarily, cars would lose a lap to the leader in most tracks if they pitted under green flag conditions, so teams would be hesitant to come in and make the changes. Under all cautions, the first car that is a lap down is allowed to unlap itself.
That's a lot of ethanol coming out.
It's the free pass.
Damn!
So, the caution period's all sorted, and it's almost time for the restart. On the final lap, under caution, the choose cone comes into effect. This is a painted V-shape on the track, just after the start-finish line. Drivers will need to make a tactical choice on whether to take the preferred racing line on the restart, or take the worst line, but perhaps start in a higher position as a result.
Get out of town. There is one. Is this what he's talking about?
It's only a minor rule introduced in 2020, but so far it's actually really mixed up the running order and produced quite a lot of excitement on the restarts. Now, every motorsport fan around the world has experienced the same conversation with someone at some point in their lives. You know, the one that usually comes to an abrupt end when the other person says something like, I don't know, I only watch the first and last laps because they're the only interesting ones. Well, a few years ago in a NASCAR meeting in some swanky hotel, no doubt, they were having a big discussion about that exact thing. So, how do we get people to watch more of the race if they're only interested in the first and last laps?
I remember back in the good old days when I was hungover on Sunday. I woke up and, ate complete stupid food, hangover food. And I always put on the TV on certain Sundays when there was a race F1. And I remember that I watched maybe the first or second lap, then I fell asleep. And I woke maybe in the middle and just glanced at the TV. I wasn't interested in F1 whatsoever, but there was a feeling of getting that the sound that the car make when they, pass the camera or whatever it is, that actually worked so good for me to fall asleep to. And I always watched the last lap. It's like my body knew, okay, wake up. It's the last lap. It's a weird thing I did when I was younger.
I know. You've just got to have more of them first laps and last laps, ain't you? You know? Oh, if you excuse me, I'm off to the bar on the company credit card. Wait, that's absolutely genius! Jenkins, you're a madman! I love you! And that's kind of how we ended up with stage racing. The race is broken up by the green and white checkered flag 2 times in every race, apart from the Coca-Cola 600. The caution is thrown out, everybody pits, and we go through the whole restart period again that I just mentioned a bit ago. At the end of each stage, points are awarded to the top 10 finishers, along with a playoff point to the driver who was in the lead at the end of the stage. But we'll get to the playoff points in a little bit. So, we've navigated our way through the race. We've survived cautions, restarts, the stages, and the inevitable big one if we're dealing with a super speedway. That just leaves us with one final piece of NASCAR oddity to deal with, the championship format. Worried about how audiences tend to turn off after the championship is sealed, NASCAR introduced a system for the championship that guarantees that the title will be decided at the final race of the season. The first 26 races of the season form the regular season, where drivers are trying to qualify for the
Oh, look at that. There is different types. Look at that. Well, most of them has a circle, kind of an oval thing. But if you look at this, Toyota Save Mart 350, that is an insane. Is this a good thing to watch? I mean, there should be a lot more things happening. But I like this one. I mean, this straight here, then going into a nasty curve, and then another straight. That would be probably the fastest one. I mean, those, of course, but this one feels like it's going to be hell of a fun to watch. I have no idea which is the most fun to watch. I mean, talking about with Echo Boost 400 Ford, this one, is this the most exciting? Well, is this actually the most exciting? I have no idea. I never seen a race.
Playoffs. Quite simply, win a race and you are in to the 16-car playoff field. So if we take the winners for the 2020 regular season, you'll get this as your playoff field. But hang on, only 11 drivers won a race during the regular season. So what now? Well, the top scoring drivers for the season so far fill out any remaining places, and then your playoff field is set. Now, only one of these 16 drivers can win the championship over the next 10 races. Once the field is set, everybody's points are reset, and then any playoff points accumulated throughout the season are added in, which gives drivers who've already booked a spot in the playoff right at the start of the season an incentive to keep on pushing. The round of 16 lasts for 3 races, and once again, you win a race and you advance to the next round. And then everybody else fights for points. After those 3 races are up, the bottom
Yellow indicates a win and automatic advancement in each playoff.
4 are dumped out of the playoffs and can no longer win the championship. We repeat this after another 3 races, and then again, and so on, until 4 drivers are left ahead of the final race of the season. Whoever out of these 4 drivers finishes highest up the order is your NASCAR Cup Series champion. Well,
he didn't say anything. You gotta help me out here. He didn't say anything about these 4 actually doing their own laps. So that's gonna be the last competition with these 4 people or 4 drivers.
Kind of just about covers it for now. I hope you enjoyed our little stateside journey together.
I did.
If you did, then give it a like, let me know.
I will.
And in the comments, let me know if there's any other series that you would like to have a little beginner's guide to.
Very informative video.
And see you next time.
Highly enjoyable. Highly enjoyable video. But I was I have no idea. Did he say, or did I just not get that? I feel like there was these 4 drivers left. Are they gonna compete in like one race together? That would be insane. I have no idea. I know you guys would probably help me out. If you're a NASCAR fan, please let me know. Wonder if this we have something similar. It's called STCC in Sweden, but that's just not even close to be the same. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. I'm gonna call it, because NASCAR is, I never seen it, but I feel like I know that they are well aware that it was actually a thing regarding me watching the first race and the last race. I felt that they was pointing fingers at me, so I understand. But they have playoffs in NASCAR. I have no idea. What do you think about the playoffs? Is it a great thing, or is it just publicity, PR, making more money? Let me know in the comments. And if you did enjoy, don't forget to hit the like, and of course that subscribe. That's something I would greatly appreciate. And if you already did this, then thank you so much, and God bless. Itchy nose, of course. A big thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon or channel membership. Thank you so much, and God bless. A big shout out to the Supreme Tier donators over by Patreon, and of course on channel membership. Thank you. Personal shout outs goes to the ultimate supporters: Deja, Dwayne, Robert, Walt, Matt, Barbara, Kathy, and Terry. Amazing list. Thank you so much for the support. I'm Recky. You stay safe.